Hello, everybody, and welcome to the football betting series here on YouTube. This channel's been on a little bit of a hiatus for the past 6 or 7 months. That's because I was working within the sports betting industry and unable to upload to the channel as a conflict of interest. However, regular programming will resume. That's going to look like at least one video a week, normally focused on the Premiership, or in this case, the FA Cup. And I'll have a pinned comment down below with any other games that I think that I would like to get involved in. If you enjoyed today's content, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel for more. And without further ado, let's get into the FA Cup. We kick things off on Friday night as Chelsea host Aston Villa, and the hosts beat Preston by 4 goals to 0 in the previous round earlier this month. It's been a bit of an up and down season for the Blues as they currently sit ninth in the Premiership, but they're still in both domestic competitions at the time of recording. Chelsea score 1.62 goals per game from an XG of 1.98, so slightly underperforming there. But they do allow their opponents 1.48 goals from an XG against of 1.4, so it's kind of on track. However, the goals have dried up in recent weeks, both of the previous two results finishing 1 goal to 0. The away side, Aston Villa, managed to beat Middlesbrough in their previous round, winning 1-0 at the Riverside. The Villains are the joint top goal scorers in the Premier League, scoring 1.9 goals per game from an XG of 1.77. Defensively, they're also one of the better sides in the division, 1.19 goals against from an opponent's XG of 1.27. As with their hosts, Villa's goals have also dried up in recent weeks, with both of their last games seeing only one goal. Head-to-head, the previous clash in the Premiership saw Aston Villa run out 1-0 winners at Stamford Bridge. And last year, both Premier League games finished 2-0 to the away side. It's pretty tricky to pick a winner in this one, so I'm looking at the goals market, but specifically the under 3.5 goals. This has come in 73% of Chelsea's Premier League games at the Bridge and 64% of Aston Villa's away games. I think we're getting quite a good price here at 1.84 for under 3.5 goals. That's going to be a full stake in bet number one. Our second game sees Tottenham Hotspurs hosting Manchester City. And to reach this stage in the competition, Spurs narrowly beat Burnley by 1 goal to 0. A performance which was quite emblematic of recent form. They have 2 wins in their last 4, including a draw to Manchester United and a 4-2 defeat at the hands of struggling Brighton. It does seem that the high line that Postecoglou is playing is causing them a lot of trouble. Spurs average 1.95 goals per game from an XG of 1.73, so they're overperforming in that regard. They do concede 1.38 goals per game, despite giving up an XG of 1.69, so they're overperforming in that regard as well. However, an XG of 1.96 is on par with teams such as Burnley and Wolves and does indicate some defensive frailty. The away side, Manchester City, demolished Huddersfield in the last round of the Cup, winning 5-0. This does continue a record of 6 straight wins for Manchester City, and the return of Kevin De Bruyne is a massive boon for the citizens. City are the top goal scorers in the Premier League, averaging 2.35 goals per game, despite only creating 1.99 XGs per game. Against, they have one of the best defensive records. They concede 1.1 goals per game and give up an XG of 0.96, which is actually the second lowest in the league after Arsenal. With Spurs struggling for form and still with a number of key players out injured, obviously missing Son as well at the Asian Cup, City go into this game a lot stronger, and they're going to be boosted by the return of Kevin De Bruyne. I'm going to be looking at Manchester City to win this game within the 90 minutes at 1.7. That's going to be for a full stake in bet 2. I'm not that keen on any of the Saturday matches, so our third and final game for this episode takes place on Sunday morning. It's a West Midland derby as West Bromwich Albion host Wolverhampton Wanderers. West Brom managed to reach this round of the Cup by defeating Aldershot by 4 goals to 1. The National League side never really stood a chance as West Brom fielded a almost entirely first-team squad in that particular game. With 3 wins in their last 5 matches, the Baggies sit 5th in the Championship, and they're hoping to continue their good run of form into the playoffs at the end of the season. Statistically, West Brom score 1.36 goals per game, which is in line of their XG created of 1.29. Defensively, they concede just shy of a goal a game, 0.96, and that's also in line with the amount of chances they allow opponents, 0.99 XG against. The visitors Wolves needed two legs to get past Brentford in their most recent round of the Cup, winning the second leg by 3 goals to 2 in extra time. This does continue a good run for Wolves of 6 games unbeaten. The Wanderers score 1.38 goals per game, which is in line with their 1.33 expected goals. Defensively, they give up 1.43 goals per game, which is slightly worse than average, but their 1.63 expected goals against is dramatically worse than the average. That puts them just above the relegation zone in terms of sides that give up the most chances. It's a derby game, and I'm expecting fireworks in this one. West Brom won't want to roll over to Premier League opposition despite being in the division below. I see both sides getting on the scoreboard here, and here's why. West Brom have seen both teams score in 2 of their last 3 matches and 50% of their home games. Wolves have seen both teams to score in 4 of their last 6 games in all competitions, and 71% of their Premier League games have seen both teams to score as well. Both teams to score is priced at about 1.77, so a half stake on that will do me for bet number 3. So there we have it. On our return episode in the FA Cup, we have 3 selections. Starting off on the Friday evening, Chelsea host Aston Villa. We're going to take under 3.5 goals at odds of 1.84. A £30 stake will return 25.20. Elsewhere on the Friday night, Spurs host Man City. We're going to be backing the away side at odds of 1.71. A full stake of £30 will return 21.30. We're going to skip out the Saturday and focus on the Sunday. I'm backing both teams to score here. Odds of 1.77. A half stake of £15 returns 11.55. So overall, across the weekend, we're going to be staking £75 to hopefully return as much as £58 and 5 pence. Will we do so? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's to tune into next episode. But if you have made it to this point in the video, please drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel for more content. Until next time, have yourself a lovely day.